Good evening and welcome to the East Lyme Board of Finance regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, November 12th. The time is 5:33 and I would like to call the meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda is approval of minutes, and I see we have September 10th on here, but I think we approved those in October. No? So removing approval of September 10th.
I'll move to approve the meeting minutes of the October 8th, 2025 regular meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Did anyone have any corrections or additions? No? All those in favor of approving the minutes of October 8th signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? No. The motion carries 5-0-0. Next on the agenda is delegations, where members of the public could address the Board of Finance on any of the items that are on tonight's agenda. Do I have anyone who wants to? Nope. Seeing none, we'll move on to reports and start with Mr. Cunningham, First Selectman.
Good evening. I'll be brief tonight. One thing we're looking at is e-ticket ordinance, and the Board of Selectmen has a proposed ordinance. We're looking at it, and we'll have, I think it'll involve quite a bit of discussion. There are some concerns, pro and con, about it. But if it is enacted, it would create an income stream for the town. So we need to really analyze it, and we will again be discussing it at our the meeting on the 19th. The other thing is, just make everyone aware, we do have a food drive going on town-wide, East Lyme, so if anyone has any food donations, there are receptacles at the various buildings, and that'll go to Care and Share. And that's really all I have for this evening.
Okay, thank you. And we'll make note at the IGA, they have all prepackaged bags for donations, and
Yeah.
so you can just do it right there, and you don't have to go anywhere, and they're taking care of it. So
Great.
Thankful to all of the people that support it in town.
Thank you, Denise.
Next on the agenda is our Board of Ed, and we have our superintendent here.
Good evening. Thank you. I wanted to share a couple things out, actually. One, obviously, the pool roof. But just first, want to make sure you receive the projections, quarterly projections that we had sent down last week. We're on track with the projections. It's still very early with the projections, but we're to the good, a little over $82,000. We'll see what the winter brings, but hopefully we have a mild winter as we've had the last two. That always helps with some general savings, but we'll see. So we're on track there. The pool roof. So we spoke and shared with the Board of Selectmen at their most recent meeting. We were told a while back, working with an architect that we've worked with over the years for different projects here in East Lyme, that as long as we had PE classes, going into and utilizing the pool, we would be able to receive reimbursement at the 40% for eligible costs. And we've had that. That's been going on. We filed with the state. The state sent us an email that they initially approved reimbursing the pool roof. Then subsequently, we received a notification from the state they'd like to get on a Zoom call with us. So we had a date, and we got on a Zoom call with members of the Department of Administrative Services. And they informed us at that time that it's not eligible for reimbursement for eligible costs, due to the fact they claim that it's a natatorium, and they qualify it as like a tennis court or a turf field, which aren't eligible items. If we were doing the whole high school roof, then they would qualify for eligibility because it would be part of an entire roof project, but it's not. The full high school roof is not due up for another 4 to 6 years roughly. So hence, we went back and forth with them on the Zoom call, but they will not reimburse it. That's how they're considering it. A separate entity like a turf field or a tennis court. So hence, there is no reimbursement with the project as we initially had applied for and thought we were going to be granted. It's still bonded at the total, or will be bonded at the total amount, the $2.4 million. We are set to go out to bid next month, and we'll see where things land. But just want to make sure that both Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance were aware of what transpired with that piece.
Have you contacted our state legislators to see if they can intervene?
I have not yet, but when we have a session, there might be a potential option of working with them to get some language into a bill of some sort. I'd have to look at that further and talk, with a representative about potentially, maybe doing something of that nature. I don't know how that would be perceived in the eyes of a representative if they want to try and add something to a bill. Sometimes those things get interjected into various bills at the last minute. So, but that I will ask that question. I can assure you, there's a special session coming up, but we wait for the regular session that happens in March. It starts up. So,
Are there any other projects out there that may have this problem?
No, the other 2 roof projects are already.
I mean, not the roof projects, any projects. So they're going to come back with.
Well, it depends.
We assume that we're going to get it, and then we find out we don't. And
I would hope not, Paul. There's no other projects that we have at the current moment. We know we're not getting reimbursement on the track field. We're not pushing that out to the state. The other big roof project, the projects we have are Nyack Center's roof and Lily B. Haynes' roof. Lily B. Haynes' roof has already been approved, so we know that Nyack Center's will be approved, and that's
I think
next.
we should know what's reimbursable and what's not. I don't know if we're relying on.
I'd like to know too, because we were expecting
We're
that.
not relying on an architect. Maybe we need to go beforehand and find out from the state directly.
Yeah, we've always known that to be the case, that that would have been approved. I've not known differently. There's new administration, Department of Administrative Services, so I think they've changed some of their rules and regulations. But if we have further projects, we'll do some homework ahead of time and find out. But at this time, we don't have any other projects that we would be looking for reimbursement other than the roof projects. Obviously, if you're doing a full school project, then there would be reimbursement for those components. Again, eligible costs. But
In my field, whenever we started a project, we always knew what was reimbursable and what wasn't. So it's at least going in. So it's.
Yeah, we were told, and it was approved. The pool roof project was approved by Department of Administrative Services. Then they called us into a meeting and said, sorry, it's not approved.
But since they told us it was approved, we're just out of luck then when they can change their mind.
They have that right, yes, unfortunately. I wish I had more sway to change that, but we will look towards a representative way and possible legislation.
I mean, especially since they had approved it originally. I don't, you would think that it wouldn't come to asking them to put something into another bill. It would be correct this error.
Yeah, I don't know if one of them made an error in approving it initially. What was the timeline between that? It was a couple days?
Yeah.
When we got the email versus,
Yeah, a couple of days, maybe a week of them.
yeah.
That's 800,000. We gotta, that's gonna disappear.
That we're not going to get back. Yeah, it's not just going to disappear. We're not going to receive that in.
Realize the full amounts budgeted, but
Yeah, agreed.
it's down the road. That's gonna hurt.
Correct. Yep.
Question. In the past, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a lawsuit about that roof,
Correct.
and the dollar amount was like $100,000. Is that still in play to reduce the 2.4 million?
Yeah, you have 2 pieces. You have, I don't know what that total is at, about is it?
I think last Kevin gave it to me, it was 87,000.
So $87,000 left that's here at the town that would be applied to it. There's also, remember, $900,000 of other items, capital items that weren't done. So there's a reallocation of money, both town items as well as some Board of Ed items that has been applied to that as well.
Just if you could, what were the other projects at $900,000?
I don't have the list in front of me, Kevin. I don't know, Kevin, if you have some of the town items. One that we had, a larger dollar amount, was we didn't use funds for an intended lawsuit that was a pending ongoing lawsuit that had been going on for many years. We didn't utilize the funds that were needed for that.
So if
It's 100.
you,
100.
I'm reading Kevin's sheet, the lawsuit is 100.
Oh, the lawsuit, 114,000 from the pool roof. Okay, so that's the total amount for the pool roof law. That's what it's at though, or it's down to?
No, I had initially 87,000, but then Kevin confirmed 100.
Okay, so we have 114,000 sitting down here that's going to be applied to the total amount.
so if you could use $100 million, 900,000 plus that 114,000, that's a little over $1 million.
Correct. That's being
So
applied
what-
to the two, to the
Right,
two
so
POFAR
what
costs.
what you could bond is instead of 2.4, but 1.4, is that right?
I'll let Kevin speak to that.
So the 900,000 was the community center roof project that came in at 1.4 million, the budget for that.
Yeah.
It came in under 500,000 to do it, all in. That 900,000 has been reallocated from that previous bonded project to this bonded project. So the majority of these projects, that $1 million at the very top line, that's bonded money. $100,000, I believe that's bonded money. Exterior bonded, interior doors bonded. The pool roof that's sitting in cash, and the other CIPs, those are all bonded. So this whole project, of that 2.4 million, $2,286,000 is bonded. Right, so we bonded for the full amount, we got authorization for the full amount, and we were anticipating getting a 40% reimbursement from the state. So that's why the Board of Ed's here to just, to tell us that they're not getting that 40% reimbursement, and we're gonna have to use the full authorization amount. Right, Cliff?
Correct.
You good there, Jeff?
Correct. Again, on eligible costs too. So we don't know what that final number would be based on what the state defines as eligible costs. What they do with all projects.
Is it still going to be this summer when they start on
Correct.
it? August?
March, the
March?
plan would be up to bid. The plan is at the earliest to start right after the boys swim season in March and run through August,
Yeah.
into early September.
Okay.
Jeff, you said if you had been linking this particular roof project to a bigger school roof project, then it would become eligible for the state reimbursement.
That's what we were told by the
Is-
Department of
is
Administrative
there-
Services.
Thanks. Is there any opportunity to link them and maybe accelerate the school roof and slow down the natatorium roof so that we can get this reimbursement?
I think that's a great question. So the only component of that is we have a high school feasibility study and committee that has been working on next steps of what we're going to do with our high school. I don't think there is enough to be able to speed that up. I don't think it'd be enough time with the pool roof and the issues that the pool roof has with the falling, flaking, things that are occurring in there. So that would be too many years out still, I think.
And you think?
And I think that we're going to be doing more with that high school. The plan is to do more with that high school than just a roof. So we would, and it's gonna, we wouldn't want to do a high school roof and then look to renovate, I guess is what I'm saying, because we're talking about doing renovations at the high school level.
All right,
So,
thanks.
and some of that will be discussed. There was an invite that went out. If you were available and could come on, Monday night, the Board of Ed is getting the first round of information from a feasibility study that the architects are doing, looking at what we're dealing with the high school. There are close to $20 to $25 million in upcoming repairs and items that need fix with that building in the next, it's about 5 to 7 years, Mariana, maybe or so. So we have to weigh that against possibly some renovations, which we're discussing.
Can you just clarify the location of the meeting and the time of the
Sure,
meeting?
yes, thanks Denise. 6 p.m. At the East Lyme Board of Education meeting room, which is in the high school. So same room where the Board of Ed meets. Be great if you could join us. After that, we have an agenda item to talk about next year's budget as well, the rollover of next year's budget. Mariana already has done the rollover, so we have that kind of top number, and then we work down from there. So you're welcome to remain if you'd like for that as well.
Richard?
Yes.
You had mentioned that in the past that the pool costs and such were eligible for reimbursement.
We were
Not
told,
just
we were told they were eligible at first. Oh, in the past,
In the
yeah.
past,
We
you
were told by,
mentioned
yeah,
before.
by a former architect that, yeah, as long as, I think this might have been part of what Department of Administrative Services once did. They, as long as your PE classes were in the pool, it was part of your high school, that it would be eligible. That's how this architect knew it to be. That's what we were told. Hence, that's why we put in the application for reimbursement, because we were doing just that. Since then, Department of Administrative Services has changed their tune. They're saying it's not eligible,
okay.
even with PE classes.
But we have historical records of the reimbursement in the past for pool-related capital.
No,
Or no?
no.
We do not.
No, that was just a conversation with an architect who had done other high school pool projects and said that, no, as long as you have PE. But again, it was years ago, so I think he was working off of previous years' experience, and things have changed, over time. I think Department of Administrative Services has really narrowed down their scope of, what they're giving for reimbursement on projects.
Right. I think in light of recent headlines we've seen of the bolus of surplus income that's expected for this year for income taxes for the state, that I think it'd be an opportune time to appeal this decision, because 800,000 in $1 billion surplus, it's pocket change, and I think that our local legislators should really help to progress that.
Agreed, and we will definitely talk with them. I'd rather go that route too than trying to, and I don't want to use the word, sneak something into a bill, but that is sometimes what happens. Things get attached to other bills. I'd rather go that route where we talk with the legislators and see if they could formulate discussions up at the state around what's eligible, what's not. But I think DAS has clamped down on some of this, and we're feeling that.
Thank you.
But I appreciate the good point, Rich.
Thank you. Anything else on the pool roof?
Just wanted to share. I mean, want to talk about the just a quick update on the non-lapsing account, just so you're aware, as I'm here just giving out further reporting. They're still in discussions at the Board of Ed level regarding the non-lapsing account. We have a subcommittee meeting coming up this Monday before the Board of Education meeting, where they'll continue discussions, on that and what they want to consider the dollar cap, might be. So further discussions are occurring, and we can continue to update you. I want to make sure that we're being transparent with any final decisions and things that come forward with that. So,
Is there any discussion about coming before the Board of Finance just to tell us what you're thinking of as far as using that fund?
absolutely, yeah, we'll
I
definitely.
know we can't veto it, but we'd like to know. ahead of time.
Yeah, I think that should be part of our reports, John. Once your new Board of Finance is set, I think we need to reestablish a pattern of report outs and sharing that information, and we're happy to do it. And I think that's a great piece to if things come up, then we can talk about. So and happy to do that.
Sure, thanks.
Yeah. And lastly, I'll just thank members that, are stepping off the board. Thank you for your service to the town. As a resident, I've appreciated your thoroughness, your work, and, how you've respected, the town and what we stand for. So thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the report from our Finance Director, Mr. Gervais.
All right. So we got a few things to talk about tonight. As many of you may know, recently, I think within the last month, I think it was this month or last month, the Fed dropped the interest rates again. So now the stiff is almost 4 even, so we're 4.01%. We still have quite a bit of money in stiff, so we're trending pretty well on our investment earnings account. We are, I believe, 40%. So we've collected $476,000 in the first quarter. Keep in mind that that's not going to, you can't just multiply that by 4 for the other quarters. Every month as we burn our, spend down the cash, that's less money we have invested. So, we should be seeing it going down every month. Now it's going down even further with this interest rate cut. And then January it'll pick back up when we do our tax collections, and then it'll wind back down through June. One thing before we get to the list here, I just want to touch base on water and sewer. The Water and Sewer Commission last meeting approved a transfer of a little more than $600,000 from the list of capital projects they had from the prior year. There's some money left over on some of these projects. There's a booster pump station upgrade, some engineering studies, the well 2A Boston Post Road treatment came in under budget. So the idea is to transfer the leftover funds from those remaining projects and have them reapproved at the the first Board of Selectmen meeting in December, and then the first Board of Finance meeting in December, the second week there. Go back to the Board of Selectmen to schedule a town meeting, discussion possible action at that town meeting. We're not asking for any more money, it's just a reallocation of the leftover funds for a new project, and that project is relating to PFAS treatment in town. So now that those projects came in with some leftovers, with some savings, we're going to use that money, reallocate it, with the board's approvals, and start working on this PFAS mitigation project. And so next month we'll have the bond resolutions and all that fun stuff. But I just wanted to apprise the board. I know there's some new members, but we're not shocked when we see a $600,000 request come through next month. We've been working on it internally, just reallocating. Same thing we just did with that the pool roof, right? That leftover community center money, the $900,000. The same thing. We're reallocating it to a new project.
And the PFAS project, as a whole, is going to cost a lot more than.
A lot more. We don't have an exact number right now. Talking with Ben North, the Chief Operating Officer, that number started in the teens of millions, and I believe that has been whittled down to under, I don't want to give an exact number, but I believe it's under $10 million now for mitigating the PFAS at the two wells. Okay, so does anyone have any questions with that? I don't really know too much at that, so if you have any questions or anyone at home, Ben North in the Water and Sewer Department would be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
I just think this would be another item that we should raise with our state legislators for relief, because this is a huge problem.
The plan is, so this is the initial, tranche of funding to get the project kicked off the ground. The idea is to use clean water funds, right? Because this is sewer. Clean water funds. Drinking water funds are different, but clean water funds, and with that, there's a piece still. It's almost like a grant piece of it. So we're exploring that as well. So the state will, through that clean water fund, kick in some non-reimbursable dollars. So to what extent that is, we don't know just yet until the project is, through engineering and all that stuff. So, but if anyone has any further questions, Ben North, Water and Sewer. Okay. Budget versus actuals. I met with the majority of department heads. We do have some good news. I don't see any accounts except for one or two that are going to be, major problems for us. One of our departments, the police department, is down multiple police officers. So while the overtime budget is trending a little high, the wages line is multiple police officers down. So at some point, probably after the new year, we will be looking to do a transfer from the wages line to the overtime line.
When you say they're down, are they out on injury, or we're hiring?
I think we've had a few retirements, and I believe there's someone on light duty. So there's a few different, a multitude of reasons why we are down a few officers. Okay. Financial statement audit. I passed around in the packet open items list as of yesterday. So we're working every week with our auditors. We have a call every Thursday at 3 o'clock. Shout out to Mike Popham, who watches these meetings for fun. And I know he'll watch this tomorrow morning, so he'll hear my little shout out here. So we are anticipating a 12/31 completion date. I think that is slipping a little away from us at the moment, but we have an MFAC meeting next week where I believe I think it was January 31st. We've shifted the goal line to.
I did have a call with Chad
The
from,
fraud questionnaire today?
yes, and I just wanted to pass on that he was very complimentary to Kevin, and I know we're not as far along as some of us would like us to be with catching up on the audits, but he was very complimentary about your work, and I appreciate your juggling all of this.
Well, thank you, Chad. My Veterans Day yesterday was doing the audit. So every waking moment we have, we turn on this audit, and I take myself out of meetings if I find myself it's not useful. Just say I got to work on the audit. I'll see you guys later. So it is a good excuse to get out of some meetings too. So with this update, that we have less than 25 open items right now. I know there are some large ones here, but we really are hammering this list. This list was, I think, over 50 just last week. So we have been shrinking this. Pension plan flash report. There's been 2 reports I provided the Board of Finance. The first quarter results as well as the September 30th pension performance. We have a pension board meeting tomorrow at 3 p.m. located in a little conference room over here if anyone's curious on our pension and the health of the pension. Local cannabis tax.
Can I just want to add one thing? For the pension board, I just would like to formally say thank you to John Waller, who this will be his last meeting tomorrow, and he has been on the pension board for many, many years and has contributed greatly to the fact that we have a very well-funded pension. So just want to thank John for his services.
Yeah, John's taught me a lot. Local cannabis tax. We have, it appears we've reached kind of a medium here, or at least a floor / ceiling. So July, 159.8 of cannabis. August, 162.8. September, 164. So we are right there in this 158 to 165 spot, it looks like. And that's just under $5,000 a month. Okay? So we'll just be keeping track of that. Fund balance projection. I did not think there was an update to the fund balance projection, but there is. And it's nothing more than a clerical error we've corrected. If you look at the 2026 budgeted revenues, that number is now matching what was approved. In the past, we were using a proposed number, and then, because we were doing projections, seeing what was happening, I never went back and changed that number from what it was proposed in budget process to the final number. You can see that changes that 2026 projected fund balance from the 16.1 roughly, which we were reporting at, to now 16.3. So it did spike it a smidge, but it is still under that 17% target fund balance we are hoping to get. So one thing I could report is, if we can kind of hold this interest income, that will definitely come over budget, right? Anything we can come over income, over budgeted on that revenue line, we can directly offset use of fund balance, right? Another line that I know was trending well was the building department permit fees. Our building official has resigned. We do have an interim building official, but I do not know yet, this is still up in the air, how that will impact those building permit fees, right? I don't, so just something to keep in mind. That's a $900,000 budgeted item there, so that represents 1% of the overall budget.
So maybe we could also check with our CPA firm. Is there any way, when we're looking at our fund balance, we could include what's in the non-lapsing Board of Ed? I mean, should we be thinking?
Mr. Popham, this will be our call. This will be our question tomorrow. So if you're watching this before our meeting tomorrow at 2, let me know the answer. So the question, the Board of Ed non-lapsing fund, if that's included in the general fund balance. Good question.
I mean, I don't think the town has the ability to draw it back, but in terms of the town's overall health, it could be looked at in that way.
That's a good That's a good question. I do know the Park and Rec Special Revenue Fund on the last page of the financials rolls into the general fund. And I think there's a couple other little funds that do as well. So I'll ask the question and let you guys know what Mr. Popham says on that one. Okay. And then lastly, tax collector reports. Every month from this point forward, I've asked the tax office, when there's a start of a new month, just send over these reports. So this will be included in our packet every month. We can see last year, at this point, October 31st, 2024, we collected exactly 56% of the taxes. Okay? And we collected 53.74% of the real estate. So far, we've over-collected from where we were last year, but the real estate is slightly under. So last year we were 53.74, this year we're at 53.47. So, but overall, the collection is up 14 basis points. So, let's see what was over-collected.
Thank you.
Yep.
Does anyone have any questions for Kevin? Okay, thank you very much. On to new business discussion and possible action. The Board of Ed Special Education Expansion and Development Seed Grant. So, Mr. Newton, do you want to?
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, so last year, the state provided an additional $30 million spread out to districts to help offset special education costs across towns. East Lyme received $63,300 of that allotment of money. It goes directly to the town, just like our excess cost dollars that come from the state for special education go to the town. So hence, we come down for a request here for the release of those funds, which are going to be used to help support some therapeutic services within our district. Now they come in quarterly. There's a quarterly release, so 15,000 has already been released. Roughly 15,000, Mariana. 15,000 has been released, but that's all that that the town has received. There's a second quarterly release, and then the last 50% is released by the end of the year. So again, that's used. It can't be used to supplant. It's used for additional services to help support students. So, and for us, it's going to be used to help support some therapeutic services.
So I don't recall having this come before the Board of Finance before. Have we?
It's new. Yeah, it's brand new.
But you mentioned last year.
Well, last year the state allocated the money, but it all came to fruition this year through legislation. Yeah, so we haven't done. It was through new legislation, which the session closed in June.
Can we use a grant fund for this?
So this is a grant. So the reason why this is coming before the Board of Finance through the entire approval process, as opposed to that, expedited approval processes, since we don't have jurisdiction and oversight of what the Board of Ed spends, Tracy Collins, with our law firm said it's got to go through the full approval process. So, Paul, your question was?
I mean, it's a grant. Can it just flow through the grant fund?
It can, but we have to do the full approval process with it. So,
I thought that was a grant fund was supposed to.
it is, but we don't it's, that's the town side grant fund. But since this is a Board of Ed grant, the town's attorneys advised us to put it through the full approval process.
So then we're looking to have a motion to approve the transfer of these funds to the Board of Ed.
Yep. So also, I just didn't have to print this out. So to approve and forward to the voters of the town meeting a special appropriation in the amount of $63,300, representing a special ed expansion and development seed grant from the state of Connecticut to be used by the Board of Ed in accordance with Public Act.
I so move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Yes,
Well, that's the motion.
Yeah, so he just said so moved after Kevin said
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Could you explain, in the document here, they mentioned 3 different tiers for interventions, 1, 2, and 3. Could you just explain what each one of those is?
Sure. So I'm not sure what document you're looking at, John, but I can tell you, is that the FAQ, frequently asked questions? Yeah, so tier 1, 2, and 3. Tier 1 supports are basically your in-class regular education supports. Tier 2 is a next level, a higher level of direct support for students in need. And then Tier 3 is your most significant, where you have a special education teacher team, maybe pulling a student out for direct services. What we're talking about, Kim, is more of like a Tier 3 in a way, I would say Tier 2, Tier 3 service for therapeutic supports for some students.
Now, this money is good for a year?
Yes, supposedly this grant is supposed to continue.
Just roll over every year?
It's supposed to. We don't know if the dollar amount will change. It could. It's very, what we have for information is what you have. So, but from what we've heard, it's supposed to be a yearly grant. I just don't know what the allocated amount will be.
The extra teachers they hire, or counselors, however you want to define it, are being paid from this grant?
No.
No.
No, I would never, no. This is not, 63,300 is for some outside therapeutic supports to come in. We can't supplant, and we don't want to hire staff with the grant, because then if the grant goes away, what's going to happen?
That was the idea with the American Rescue Funds.
Exactly, and we don't want to travel down that road again necessarily. I mean, those were big dollars. This wouldn't cover the cost of a teacher. But we're not. That's not the intended plan with this.
The people you'll be using are already in house.
No, it's a contract. Is it a contracted?
So,
We want to be careful with what because there's sensitivity with students and needs.
Do you want to come to the microphone? If you'd
Come
like
on
to
up, Kim, and
expand?
in a broad sense, this is where we have to be careful with what we share, because services are specific to students.
yeah, so, the seed grant, special education expansion, right? And so our goal is to try to keep kids in district rather than sending them to out-of-district supports, or placements, which is tuition dollars, right? So we're looking to provide further programmatic supports, within our therapeutic classrooms. We have one at the elementary level, one at the middle school level, and one at the high school level. So we'd be using these funds for that. Admittedly, the information has trickled out because it was just legislation that was effective July 1, and the frequently asked questions that you have just came out a few weeks ago. So districts and towns have been very, uncertain about how to spend these funds. So we're developing that as we go along, and the hope is that they do come annually.
So, as of now, you don't expect to hire any extra people,
Right.
which could change down the road depending on.
What we learn about this grant and its
The state
stability.
does.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so the plans are for the additional services to be personnel contracted in?
Not
Or are you
necessarily.
looking
So
at
we're still exploring the
technology?
options because we only have a quarter of this funding at the moment, and honestly, with all the uncertainty, at different levels of government, we haven't, committed to a firm plan for spending them. But hiring contracted services is actually prohibited in the
Language.
the language of the law. Thank you. So, yeah, but we can offer curriculum materials and supports that our current staff can use with the students. We can do actually, I'm not sure if we can do professional development. It's a really specific grant about what you are and are not allowed to spend, and which is why we've all been trying to learn so that we can abide by those guidelines. As special ed directors, we've discussed
Right.
this at many roundtable meetings.
And
Yeah.
guidelines would,
Yeah.
I would imagine,
Yeah.
be direct services.
Yeah, but like I said, curricular supports that current staff can deliver in the classroom to, expand what's happening already in terms of coping skills, developing social skills, and things like that.
Now, I remember in the past, this past year, that the schools were looking to develop their AI programs and curricula. Is it possible to be able to have some AI solutions be placed within to the special ed?
Certainly, AI has a place in special education. What I'm looking to do with our, I've sort of honed in on our students with social, emotional, behavioral needs, and increasing the supports there, because they tend to be our students who are more likely to be placed out of district. So with this particular funding, I wasn't looking at an AI option, but yes, we're talking about AI within special education just as part of professional growth and, the way we do business, and where's there a place for differentiating instruction and things like that. So, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just one more question.
Oh, sure.
On page 5 here, in this handout,
Yeah.
item 15, it says, the grant funds are to be expended between July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. There is no extended liquidation beyond June 30th, 2026.
Correct.
So at this point, when you get to the end of, or June of 2026, you hoping that it'll roll over?
I'm not expecting that. We will make a plan to have it expended. The state doesn't usually give us leeway on that kind of a deadline.
Yeah, you gotta spend it.
You have to spend it, yeah.
But you're hoping in the meantime that they're gonna continue this?
Yes, that's what we've been told, that it could be an annual allocation, yeah. But I would imagine the legislature has to continue to
Right.
approve that.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Any other questions in regard to this? The motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right,
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No. The motion carries 5-0-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have some old business, which we're just going to keep it on the agenda to make sure it doesn't get forgotten about. So for the next Board of Finance, we'll be looking for 2 people who would go on the CIP committee, and then is it the first selectman who then would also choose a citizen appointment, or is it the Board of Finance does it? Okay.
So it's a citizen rep for each board.
so we pick one of you.
Okay. I forgot how we did that. So,
Barry was the Board of Finance rep. He's now on the board, so you
Right.
guys have a potential.
When is the first meeting?
December?
Yeah, it's gonna be sometime after, probably mid-December, right before
So that'll be
Christmas.
the next meeting that can.
Yeah.
Question, please. Can one of you maybe at the next meeting, just so the new board is clear, just kind of define the parameters of exactly what the position entails, so there's that increased familiarity that not everybody has yet.
And I'll print, so once the new people start and they have their emails, I'll forward everybody the city candidate handbook for the Board of Finance, and then the statutes that guide the Board of Finance.
All right. And next item on the agenda is public discussion. We only have one member of the public left, who will soon be sitting up here on this side of the table. So, did you want to say anything, Sandra? No? Okay. On to board comments. Anyone have anything for the good of the board here?
I can just, I just want to thank the 3 members who are leaving us after this particular meeting. I've only had the opportunity to work with you guys for a year and a half, and I just appreciate your engagement and your professionalism, and I definitely learned from observing you, so thank you.
Thank you. I would also,
No,
Dan, did you want?
I want to reiterate that as well. Thank you, everyone on the board, and for those that aren't coming back, appreciated the good discussions we had, the thoroughness, and we got through a busy year, so thank you very much, and good luck to all of you.
Thank you, and I just really appreciate that it's been a great board to be on for the last 4 years. We've had a couple of new people coming on and off, and regardless, it's always been a very cooperative not a political board, just very much just trying to do what we can to do the best for our citizens. So thank you, Paul, John, for going off along with me. So there'll be a lot of new people. So anything, I'm sure, I speak for all of you, if we can help in any way, we're happy to do so.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Sure.
And I'd just like to add on here that I think this board experience has been a good one, that we've worked well together, that our meetings have been very efficient. We did not have long, drawn-out meetings, even during the budget season, and we faced some very challenging budgets the last couple of years. So appreciate your services and wish you well.
Thank you, Rita.
I'll just say one thing. For me personally, I've been on the Board of Finance for 8 years. The last 8 years have been an honor to serve the town of East Lyme in that capacity. And I want to send out a special thanks for 2 people. Number one, Kevin. When he came on, all the work he's done to get us up to par. And I know he spent a lot of hours late at night and probably at home too, working on the budgets and various other issues. And also I'd like to thank Denise for being the chair. She has guided us through a lot of things, and with her experience in the banking industry has helped the Board of Finance really, I'd say, done a lot of things that we couldn't have done without her. So I'd like to thank you, Denise.
No, well, thank you. I mean, you guys all have brought great experience, so I think that's why it's been, a pleasure to work together, because, we all add something.
Thank you for the 4 years of chairing. Thanks, Kevin, for stepping in the quagmire, as it were, and to Brooke, who's not here, but putting those minutes together, especially those budget hearings. I felt her pain at this year's many pages that she had to do, but appreciate the work that she does as well.
Good point.
So best of luck to everybody.
Yep. And a happy Thanksgiving to everyone, too.
Yeah.
Move to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.